Very special moment. It was a nice surprise to be elected to go into the National Collegiate Hall of Fame. And then when Mark LaBarber, the athletic director here, called about putting a banner up, I was very honored and excited to be able to come back and see a basketball game and then see a banner. But most of all, just to thank all the friends and people of Valparaiso that allowed for that banner to be hung, because it took a lot of good players and a lot of good fans. And if you heard my remarks at the beginning, it's phenomenal when Aaron helped add up what a decade when we had a tremendous home court advantage here. And we won 113 games and only lost 14, which is right around just close to 90%, which is an awesome. And the fans were a big part of that. I can remember them standing and cheering and helping our players. So it was wonderful to come back and be able to say thank you to a lot of friends and fans.
What was the Hall of Fame weekend like?
It was a whirlwind. I was surprised with the activities that they had lined up for each one of us. And to go in with the people that I did, I really felt honored. Rick Majerus, who's passed away, but was at Marquette and then at Utah in the Final Four there, and then St. Louis University, and then Lute Olson. And Lute Olson at Arizona. And so I felt really honored to go in with those two coaches. And I had known them for years, so that was kind of nice. In fact, we played Ball State when Rick Majerus coached them. And I can remember out in the gym, I was leaving the office, and I heard balls bouncing. And so I go out, and here is Majerus playing with his staff, with coaches and managers, a little pickup game. And all of a sudden, I hear, Homer, come here. So I go over and I said, what do you want, Rick? And he says, we need you on my team so we can I don't want to lose to our managers and assistant coaches. So he got me to play. It was like 4-on-4. And I said, yes, if you will set the screens. And anyone who knows Rick, he's big. And that was the best screen I'd ever received. So anyway, but we won. So Rick and I became really good friends. Then Lute Olson, the first time we met was the first time that we made it into the NCAA tournament. And we drew Arizona in the state of Arizona. And I'll let you Google to find out what the score was, okay? Maybe you don't want to look, and it's okay if you don't. But anyway, we looked in our show you what a good coach I was. We looked at the statistics, and their guards were not shooting well from the three-point line, 26%, 27%. So they were faster and quicker than we were. So we said, well, let's just kind of back off and put a high hand when they shoot a three. Well, in the first 4 minutes before the first media timeout, they were 4 out of 6 from the three-point line. And we had already dug ourselves a deep hole that got even deeper. Now, they did have 3 people to go on to play in the NBA. Dickerson and Gary, and I forget the last one. Maybe was it Simon Miles? I forget. But anyway, so, but the story, after met with the media and dejected, disappointed that we had not played very well, I leave and I go out, and all of a sudden a woman comes up and puts her arm around me, and she says, I'm Bobby Olson. I'm the wife of Lute Olson, and I want to compliment your team. They never gave up, they never quit, and I know how young you are with a lot of sophomores. And then she said, you will be back. And so that lifted my spirits. And then when I talked with Lute, I said, Lute, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm just going straight to your wife, because she's the one that's the encourager and help. Anyway, so we developed a good friendship, and he invited us 2 times to play in their Fiesta Classic down in Tucson, Arizona, which is, at that time, was one of your better classic or basketball tournaments to go to. So to go in with those 2, it was really a privilege to go in. And then you talk about athletes, Shane Battier, Calbert Cheney. Then we had one from Purdue way back. He was actually older than I was, so I was really excited to meet him. And one from Stanford, and then Ernie D. DeGregio. Did I pronounce that right, Paul? From Providence, Rhode Island. And he was a mastery with the basketball. Behind the back passes, dribble between the legs and that, and played at Providence and then played in the NBA as well. And the neat thing, all of them were very humble. And it was just very honoring to be with them and around them for the activities. So thank you for asking, Paul.
And just to be back here for I think the first time for a game since the St. Mary's IIT game, what's that like to be back in the Arc?
Oh, wonderful. It's great to see. I'm really happy for Matt Loddick. They played a great first half and hope they can have another good half with that. And to see Luke Gore and Matt Bowen, it was just good to come back, see the coaching staff and to see the players, and most of all meet friends that I hadn't seen in a while. So it was a very special day.
What's life like for you now? You've got, I mean, obviously you're down in Nashville, right?
Down in Nashville.
What's a typical day or week for you?
Well, let me think. We've got coming up 3, 4, 5, 6 basketball games. We've got 3 with 3 with grandkids, 2 with Baylor, and then Bryce has got ESPN games. So that keeps us very active in the basketball trail. We have 5 grandchildren down there, so that keeps us very busy, and then try to volunteer and do some charity work as well. So it's been wonderful to be retired, but it's even better that God let me live long enough to enjoy the grandkids.
I see that you're coaching?
Assisting my son-in-law, Casey Shaw. Those of you who remember Casey, 6'10" basketball player. Was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers and played there, and then went over and played in Europe. So he's coaching his 3 sons, who are my 3 grandsons. So I protect my grandsons from their coach. So that's my job. But Casey was very kind to let me assist, and so I just assist on helping out when I can and that. But it's been good to work with the grandkids.
I think for the long career that you had here at Valparaiso and getting to be back here now, how have you seen the program grow as a whole under your leadership?
Under Matt's leadership, or
Your leadership.
on our leadership, when we first came, it was a struggle. The first 3 and 4 years, the university was making a decision between Division III or Division I. And once they decided on Division I, then we were able to get a kickstart. And then John and Paul will remember that we got some local players to return in Casey Schmidt and Dave Redmond. And those 2 just gave a great jump start for our basketball program. And then of course, along comes Rob Kavanaugh, Mike Jones, and Scott Anselm, all of them, and then Bryce Drew, who came. Then it solidified the program, and it just kept getting better and better. But as I look out there, it's amazing, and you all see it because you're doing it every day. But athletes are bigger, stronger, faster, and it's fun to see how every year basketball gets a little bit better.
You've got Casey Schmidt is out there today. Robbie Hummel is here.
Yes.
What's it like to see some of these people return? Jason Hawkins, Terrence Price, Bryce Drew is here.
Well, I told Robbie Hummel that I would have made the Hall of Fame a lot sooner if he would have come to Valparaiso University when we were recruiting him. And he ended up going to Purdue, had a great 4 years there, and then played professionally, and now is really one of the up-and-coming broadcasters in basketball. So great to see Robbie. I've known Robbie since he was in middle school and going to all of our camps here in the summertime, and just have a lot of respect and very proud of what Robbie has done. And for him to come today, it was very special for me.
You mentioned this in your talk out there, but could you have envisioned maybe in 1988 or 89 that Valpo would end up in the Missouri Valley Conference?
No, I thought that was the place that would be our best fit with other private schools and that. So I was thrilled when they made that decision to get into the Missouri Valley. Anything else? Paul Von Tobel, any questions you want to ask me from back there?
Just want to compliment you on a wonderful presentation.
Oh, quote that, quote that.
I loved it.
Anything else I can help you all? Thank you all for coming today, and let's cheer on Valparaiso and get a win here before we go into Christmas break. God bless everybody.